So the Jaguars will be taking on the LA Rams this Sunday afternoon as they travel out to LA at SoFi Stadium. And this is going to be the first matchup between Jalen Ramsey and the Jacksonville Jaguars since he was traded back in 2019. And the Jaguars got 3 draft picks in that trade with Jalen Ramsey, 2 firsts and a 4th. Those picks ended up being Travis Etienne, K'Lavon Chaisson, and Jordan Smith. Now, none of those guys are probably ever going to be as talented as Jalen Ramsey is. He's a sure ballot future Hall of Famer, but I don't want a player playing for my organization if he doesn't want to be here. Don't care how great or talented they are. If they don't want to be here, bye-bye. But that's the last thing I'll say about Jalen Ramsey. But the Rams are actually vying for an NFC West division title. They currently, I think, sit 2 games behind the Arizona Cardinals, whereas the Jaguars are in rebuild mode. They're in the first year of a rebuild. So let's head into this matchup. Now, before we begin today's video, I'd like to give a huge shout out to FLTeams.com, who I've partnered and collab with. At FLTeams.com, we do sports articles and blogs on the daily regarding sports teams in the state of Florida from the collegiate and at the professional level. If you guys would like to go check out FLTeams.com, I will link to them down below. And also, don't forget to drop me one of these. Now, I always like to talk about the opposition first, and that comes with the LA Rams. Obviously, the Rams giving away 2 first-round picks in 2020 and in 2021 for the Jalen Ramsey trade. And then they also gave up 2 future first-round picks as well with the Matthew Stafford trade 2022 and 2023, if I'm not mistaken. That is 4 years of 0 first-round picks. The Rams won't have another first-round pick until 2024. Then they gave away a 2nd and a 3rd-round pick, I believe, to acquire Von Miller. This team in Sean McVay is pushing all their chips to the table to go and win a Super Bowl. Right now, they're not really going to have a lot of cap space, if any at all, to continue to re-sign these guys for the future. And obviously, Matthew Stafford is a huge upgrade that we've seen from Jared Goff. 27 touchdowns on the season, only 9 interceptions, but the last 3 games has been a struggle for Matthew Stafford, and that's definitely a concern for a lot of Rams fans heading into this game. Matthew Stafford has thrown 5 interceptions the last 3 games, I believe, in which they've all lost, and he's had 3 straight games with a pick 6. I believe Matt Schaub holds that record back in 2012 when he threw 4 straight games with 4 pick 6s, so I doubt that Matthew Stafford's going to throw a pick 6 versus the Jaguars, but it's the NFL any given Sunday. Point is, though, this receiving core, obviously, with Cooper Kupp and a huge loss with Robert Woods. Green Bay was a solid bounce-back game for Odell Beckham coming off that bye week, but Cooper Kupp, you can't say enough about this guy. I mean, I don't think anyone in the NFL community thought Cooper Kupp was going to be a number 1 wideout and leading the NFL in receptions and in yards and tied for first with touchdowns heading into the season. We all understood he was talented, but when you think about the top guys, you think of guys like Adam Thielen, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, DK Metcalf, etc. Cooper Kupp has been nothing short of spectacular this season. 92 receptions, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, and like I said, just phenomenal by him. Tyler Higbee's a great tight end. Obviously, like I said, Odell Beckham, Van Jefferson, I'm a big Gator fan, so always rooted for him. This team has so many weapons offensively speaking, and even though Darrell Henderson Jr., I think, was limited in practice, he's still expected to play this Sunday versus the Jaguars. And then with the Rams defense, there's been a significant drop-off from last year to this year. Brandon Staley was the defensive coordinator for the Rams last year. Phenomenal. They were the number 1 defense, 18.5 points per game last season. But there's definitely been a drop-off this season with their defense. Obviously, you have to credit some of that to Raheem Morris coming in and being the new defensive coordinator after Brandon Staley left. They're ranked number 23 in the NFL defensively this season in comparison to number 1 last year, averaging about 24 points per game to opposing teams. Definitely a bit of a drop-off, but the Rams still have a very, very talented defense. Donald, Ramsey, Leonard Floyd, Von Miller, the list goes on. The Rams defensively should be able to handle the Jaguars, but speaking of the Jaguars, let's head into the Jaguars side of things. The Jaguars, if they want to even come out with a win or at least be competitive with the LA Rams, they've got to dominate the time of possession. That's something the Jaguars have tended to struggle to do in a lot of games this season where they've just fallen behind and they have to play catch up. The Jaguars really have not played with the lead much at all this season. The only relative game where they've significantly played with the lead was back in week 4 on Thursday night versus the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Rams' recent 2 losses to the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers back on Monday Night Football, both the Packers and the 49ers dominated the time of possession with 39 minutes. The Jaguars have the number 13 rushing offense, so that's going to help Trevor Lawrence in this offense with the time of possession. The Jaguars lost tight end Dan Arnold last week. Obviously, we've had a spew of injuries from Travis Etienne, DJ Chark, Jamal Agnew, and now Dan Arnold. Hopefully Oshag Hennessy can, stay upright and contribute some more like he did last week. Brandon Linder's obviously here. Jawan Taylor's got to play better, but that's going to be a tough task with Von Miller, Aaron Donald, and Leonard Floyd coming off the edge. We're going to have to see how the Jaguars attack them because I am really curious to see what Darrell Bevell and this offense does heading into this game because Trevor Lawrence, I'm not really worried about their secondary excluding Jalen Ramsey, but I really want to see what Darrell Bevell draws up for this week's matchup, at least with the offensive play calling, which has not been great this season. But credit a lot of that to some injuries. Bevell will still be gone by the end of the year or at the end of the season. Point is, though, Trevor's going to have a solid game, make the necessary throws when need be. James Robinson is limited. He's day-to-day. Same thing with Shaquille Griffin on the defensive side of the ball. But the Jaguars need all the help that they can get, and we're going to have to really dominate the line of scrimmage in the rushing game in order to come out competitive or with the win versus the LA Rams. But Jaguar and Rams fans, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Drop a score prediction. I'm not going to because we're playing the NFC West and we're playing one of the best teams in the NFL. Not going to give a score prediction. I'll just be completely honest with you guys. But if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you guys like, turn on notifications, and hit the subscribe bell to stay tuned for more Jacksonville Jaguars and NBA content that I do here on YouTube. But Brett James, aka BJ, I'm out, y'all. Go Jaguars. Peace!